Live from Midwest Studios in East Columbia, this is the Sticky's Cabana Podcast.
It's a sticky.
How you doing, folks? It's Sticky here with the Sticky's Cabana Podcast. Welcome back, of course, Season 4.
Woohoo!
I'm telling you, who'd have thought, right? Who'd have thunk it?
Who'd have thunk it?
Well, let me first introduce my co-host and co-part over here.
Hi, everybody. It is I, your furry pal Topher.
All right, so we have with us today in the studio the B.O.M.B. Version 2, as you say. Yeah, and so if we would like to go around here and everybody introduce themselves.
Paul Haig drums, Scott Smith guitar.
And I'm Topher.
Liz,
Vocals,
band manager.
band bitch.
Yeah, band bitch.
And
Some people take offense to that name, but you chose it.
It's self-proclaimed.
you know, if you choose it, that's what you have to go by.
If the shoe fits, put it on.
That's right. That's right. So, tell me what y'all been up to. You know, it's been 2 years since we had you on last.
Yeah, that was the B.O.M.B. version 1. We went from, 2020 to July 2022. We had an incident at a show that finally was the straw that broke the camel's back for me, and I walked away. I said, I can't deal with this right now, and told Scott, I said, anytime, any place, anywhere you want to get back together and do things, I'm with it. And so spring of, early 2024, I got back with Scott, and I'm like, dude, I've been running sound at the Cabana now for 4 years, and we need to put something back together again.
That itch wasn't getting scratched.
Not that one. And Scotty says, find us some other folk. And so my first call was to Nick Boggs to play bass for us, even though he's a guitar player. Nick said, well, by the way, I've got a buddy of mine that plays drums. Would you mind if he came in and sat in? And I'm like, bring him along, the more the merrier. Thus began version 2.0 of the B.O.M.B. And our first gig was July of 2024 this year for Liz and I's first anniversary. And Logan Lashley from Lifeline decided I asked him if he'd, help us out with a little secondary guitar, and he enjoyed himself so much he stuck around with us for 8 months. But unfortunately, recently, because of other band obligations and his full-time job, he had to part ways with us.
Yeah, he's a busy guy.
Yeah,
He's
3
a very
bands
busy guy. Yeah.
when he was with us, plus a full-time job, and that's a stretch for anybody.
Yeah, and a joy to play with. So it was really learned a lot, and so wish him absolutely the best, and hopefully he'll come back and play here and there with us and stuff. You guys had great chemistry, and the music was really good. And Nick was nice and solid, and I'm not going to steal your thunder, but it was funny because I'd see Nick at the Walmart in Moberly every Sunday morning, and he'd be like, well, what's going on? Oh, nothing much. Week after week after week. Well, one Sunday he stopped me and he's like, I got something right up your alley. And I'm just like, what do you got? And he goes, you still have kits? And I said, yeah, I've got a couple. And he goes, you playing anywhere? I'm like, no, I haven't played in a few years. And he's just like, come on out. And gave me the directions and the address and everything, and came out and played on the old kit. That I ended up buying. And like I said, everything just kind of gelled, and then obligations have kind of, the ranks have thinned a little, but and then Vic auditioned.
Yeah.
And
Local Columbia guy.
Yeah, really retired military. I'm retired military. You're retired military. Sticky's retired military. Scott's the odd man out, but we were here's to hoping.
Scott in the band and Lucas for the Cabana.
Yeah. And but we had great chemistry Friday night. I think we'll be back up running. We've got a couple other potential bass players to bring in and see how the fit goes, and then we'll just be back, with the grind, building the set list, and it'll ebb and flow. It'll always change, but we've got a huge repertoire. I mean, if you saw Topher's Bible, it's like this thick of songs, and he's just like, any of these?
3-ring binder.
Yeah, and you're flipping through. Oh, yeah, that. No, yeah, that. Write it down. Write it down. Write it down.
You always hear him like, "Oh, wait, I may have that song in the Bible. Let me look." Yeah.
But so it's just like an ebb and flow and a rebuilding process and everything. I think these guys are the core. I'm just kind of along for them. I just make noise in the back and look good. And
bang on things.
He's more of a leader than you
and,
think.
That's what we do. But the fit seems to be there.
Absolutely.
Good groove, good sound, and so we're gonna hopefully this summer, once we get a nice vibe going with everybody, we can start relying on our manager back here to get us some gigs to pay the bills, or at least for the burgers and beers that we consume. And but we'll always support Sticky in every way we can, and as long as he keeps bringing the shine to rehearsal.
I've been known to do that a few times.
Yes,
a few times.
Anyway,
Once or twice.
Anyway, I'll defer back to Topher after I stole his thunder.
No, I'm not stealing any thunder. Nick, unfortunately, had to depart ways with us due to family and work obligations, and we completely understand that. Life comes before everything else. Family first, we always say. Logan and Nick are both welcome to join us up on stage anytime they want. But again, unfortunately, version 2 didn't make a whole lot of money. Because our first gig, like I said, was our wedding anniversary, so not paid.
Yeah.
Our next gig was, I think, a benefit out at the Cabana.
I don't remember exactly who it was.
I don't either.
I'd have to look.
Then the gig after that was Battle of the Bands, that we came in second after only being together for 4 months.
Yeah.
And of course, it was Lifeline that beat us, so, I'll take that any day of the
solid.
It was the closest Battle of the Bands to record. Lifeline only beat y'all by 2 votes.
Yep.
So
there's some solid guys, though, definitely.
Yeah, then they had asked us to come out and have me run sound and the B.O.M.B to co-headline Pit Fest out at Dean Davis's place from Lifeline again. And that was a heck of a show.
I played a lot of places outside and inside, and that by far was just so much fun. Everybody was great. The food was good. The background, everything, the lighting, all the acts, everything. Just talent from the beginning to the end. It was a lot of fun.
And
a lot of fun.
Stage riser.
Yeah, we had a stage,
stage and everything, and But each group brought some lighting, uplighting spots, whatever, and the stage and the barn in the background and the acts that came on. It just was fantastic.
And we had a little bit of rain that night too, didn't we?
A few sprinkles at the end of the night.
Yeah, sprinkled.
That was fun.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
But what, you got there at 10 or 11? I showed up around noon to set up the PA.
It was all day. I didn't get home till 3 a.m, and I was beat.
I didn't leave Dean's place until 3 a.m, and then had to come back again the next day to pick up the rest of the PA.
Yeah, I had to come back and get the trailer.
Yeah.
And I told him when we were done, when we were loading stuff out the next morning, I'm just like, we want to come back. I would like to really hit that place and advertise it, because it was truly and there's plenty of open spaces. The barbecue was great. I can't remember the vendor, but oh man, it was good.
I believe it was a family member.
Absolutely phenomenal barbecue and hospitality. They had a porta potty right there, had bonfire, kids everywhere. It was just truly memorable.
Kind of sounds like the old Cabana.
Very entertaining.
It was a good time.
Just a little more spread out.
Yeah, more spread out.
And then Janice's and her husband's gig.
We had another benefit, I think we did at the Cabana.
Was for Pitney.
Yes,
Pitney's wife.
for Noah's wife.
Noah's wife.
Tara. And then our last show recently was our Halloween show, November 1st, out at the She Shed.
And that
And
was a lot of fun.
that was fun, but
Good
it was
food.
cold.
Yeah. It was.
It was awesome. It was 60 degrees that afternoon.
But then as soon as the sun
Then the
went
sun went down and the wind started coming down the hill, and it hit the mid 40s just that quick, and everybody scattered.
I was the only
Even though
thing.
we had a couple of.
I was nice and warm.
Oh, I bet you were.
I was nice and warm back there behind the kit, but it was getting
Well,
cold.
you had the windbreak that
Yeah.
Dan had built.
I was going to say the amazing add-on to the stage.
Oh,
Yeah.
he doubled the stage inside just for that event for us.
And my mother, that was the first time she'd ever seen me play. She talked to you quite a bit, and took some pictures. I'm gonna have to dig those pictures out. But
Yeah, we need to get
Mother
them up
had-
on our page.
Mother had a blast. She was, the songs it was right in her. She loved it. Absolutely had a ball, and everybody was so personable. Let's see, who else's mother was there? Nick's. Nick's mother was there as well, and they were all just sitting there under the awning and just under blankets and had the little warmers, and shoot, they were having a blast. The music was good.
Dan's
good food.
cooking. We had burgers,
Oh,
dogs,
yeah.
brats, chili.
I mean, and it was,
All
and
the
then
beer you
the
could
beer
drink.
locker, the beer locker. But yes, that was a wonderful, wonderful time. And nice thing is, it's right down the road from the bomb shelter, so that was rather handy,
Convenient.
very convenient.
Right down the road from the old original cabana.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And we do shows there from time to time.
He said do.
He did.
Do. Yeah, I said do. We do. Yeah. But we do shows there from time to time, and we'll have to, I'm sure, try to get something going this year.
Hopefully, we can hopefully bracket the weather a little better, so it's
yeah.
not either threatening
Sweltering
rain
or
or freezing or cold or.
And you guys played up there on that stage, 100-something degree weather.
Yeah.
I think we might know somebody that knows a little bit about weather.
No, maybe.
Oh, Dr. Sticky?
Not quite Dr. Sticky, but working on that. Yeah. I don't know if you knew that. I'm taking my doctorate right now. Yeah. so,
Okay.
Yeah.
In metrology.
In meteorology.
Meteorology. excuse me.
Metrology.
Metrology is
Metrology.
actually something different.
Yes. Yeah. But no, I've already got my master's. Did that. Graduated July of 24. Got a few degrees, but I don't like to talk. I've got enough going on. Yeah.
He doesn't
think we all
advertise.
Degrees of attitude.
Yeah, absolutely. Different degrees of attitude.
But
Yeah.
you do have the weather Discord server.
I do.
Hey,
Sticky
that,
cast.
that
Sticky Cast. That's
Sticky
it.
Cast.
Stick, I tell you what, that would be handy because after the acquisition of the sailboat and the slip at
Yeah.
Blackjack Marina, and we'll be going sailing, I'll just give you a call and say, what's it looking like today?
What's going on
What's
with this?
going on?
Yeah, and I did cut my teeth into severe weather this year.
Yeah. With some storm chasers.
Yeah, I've got 26 storm chasers on my team, and we got live video feed from them, and you guys get to actually see what I'm seeing. So where I've got live video feed, you guys get to see it. You can hear them. I can talk over top of it. Everything. I can pop up radars in the background. We have radars live feed going.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
And he's been more accurate than any weatherman in the mid-Missouri area.
Yeah, I was told that by somebody. About 99% accurate. I've messed up this winter time already. My first winter actually trying to forecast and do stuff. We had that swath of snow that came through right before Thanksgiving. That it dropped right. It just followed I-70. Walked right down I-70.
Which is
I
rare.
was
Which is rare.
which very rare. I didn't think we were going to get as much as we did. I still drove in it. I played in it, so it didn't matter. It was fine.
We need
Kept doing live shots from
Yeah.
photos from there. I was expecting half to 3/4, maybe an inch of snow total in our area. 3.2 inches.
Yeah, we got 3 to 4 up in Centralia.
Yeah,
We had 4 on the man cave stage.
yeah. A little south and a little north, half inch.
Yeah, just
It was just that corridor.
Yeah. It was just a small section of it. But anyway, back to the bomb. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
one more plug.
Oh, okay.
We have yet to,
Yes.
mention our new home here. We left KOPN,
Yep.
and we are now here at Midwest Studios.
Yeah.
They were kind enough to accept us as members. They don't know what they're in for,
Not quite.
but we will be, at least this year, hopefully
Yeah.
more, be coming to you from Midwest Studios.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's pretty nice. We were able to get a heck of a deal being military. That came in handy, as I should say.
Yep.
Back to the bomb.
The ball.
The bomb. So, you know, I just want to kind of go around. Y'all tell me, you know, how y'all got started in doing what you're doing.
I'll start. Early 80s, when I was in the service, stationed in Germany, the rec center had a drum kit and a sound room right there, right next door to me. And I hadn't, never really played. That was 40 years ago. And
When we were young men.
yes, when we were young bucks at the time. And I would go over there and piddle around and play around. And then there's a gentleman, young kid my age down the hall, played a little guitar. And then another guy played bass. And another guy from another unit sang. And we just started, hey, learn these songs, you know. And we just started playing out. And then they had a kind of an NCO enlisted club, and we'd go up and play, and did that for a couple years. And then came back stateside in '86, and then was in the 593rd Area Support Group up in Fort Lewis, Washington. Had a band, a group of guys that played, needed a drummer. I said, well, I've got a little experience. Played there that was my short stint. Played with them till I got out in '87. Came back, got my bachelor's degree in consumer affairs at the university, and I finished. I'm a non-traditional student. I finished in 2002,
Yep.
and I started working at Hubble Power Systems in 2000.
My condolences.
I know. Ran into a few guys. They had a little band called Stone the Crow, and played with them off and on. That was Mike Leip and his group. And just we didn't come out of the rehearsal studio, but we made a lot of good music, had a lot of fun with it. And then I was out for a while. Then I stacked up the kit for probably 6 or 8 years, and then a gentleman by the name of Dennis Roberts played bass for a band called After All out of Warrenton. He's just like, come on and audition. Come on. He talked to me for a month or so, a couple months by. I'm just like, all right. So I went down. We went to Warrenton and met their lead guitar player, and Dennis had the bass, and their other guitar player, and Richie Watson was the lead singer. And we played out in Warrenton and in the St. Louis area and Alton, Illinois, and in Illinois. And we played out for about 3 or 4 years. Then we had we just kind of had an ebb and flow of talent. And I was just like, well, I don't want to, the vibe is not there anymore. So I packed up the kit, brought it back, and just kind of laid low for a little while. And then, lo and behold, Nick Boggs shows up at Walmart and, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? And I'm just like, well, nothing right now. He says, I've got an opportunity for you. And I'm just like, being in the service, an opportunity doesn't mean what it does for civilians.
No.
Does not mean the same thing. So I said, all right, I'll give it a try, and met these guys, and we came down to the bomb shelter and played a little bit, and had a meet and greet, played, and had a good fit, played, the spring and summer, and played out a little bit here and there. And now we've got another ebb and flow of talent again. And so we're, rebuilding and, kind of remorphing into another group of talented individuals, and we'll just pick up the baton and keep on trucking. So
There you go.
Alrighty, and for my story, I told most of it in our original podcast that we did with the Cabana. I actually rewatched it back when we had first talked about doing this with the new members. I laugh looking back now, rewatching that, because we actually filmed it in the bomb shelter.
Mm-hmm.
That was when you would go around and visit the artists before we actually had a set location. and it's fun to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, life has gotten a lot simpler since then.
Yeah. Well, and again, to producer Lucas's, what word am I looking for?
Proficiency.
Your editing skills, audio, lighting over the last couple of years. Dude, my partner in crime at the Cabana Sound Desk,
That's where I stay out of there.
and we
I
couldn't do
disappear.
it. We couldn't do a karaoke show if the two of us weren't there. But yeah, as I mentioned in the original podcast, I started singing very, very early. I had made mention of a recording that my parents had of me singing some Sesame Street song when I was 4 years old. From memory, did the whole thing, and I still pray to God that recording never surfaces.
We need to find that.
Oh, blackmail footage.
Yeah.
Mental note.
But basically, I did church choir when I was in grade school. I was in the choir in high school. I was second lead in my senior year high school play. We did Godspell, and our actual lead was a performing lead vocalist for a very well-known band in St. Louis at the time. Got out of high school, started working. I started DJing semi-professionally, doing family barbecues, birthdays, anniversaries, weddings, what have you. Probably before I went in the military in 89. So, since the 90s, I've been doing music semi-pro. Got out of the military, moved back to St. Louis, and actually didn't join my first real gigging band until, I want to say, 2009, 2010. That project became Goodfellas, bunch of extremely talented guys in that band. I'm still in contact with damn near every one of them. We had a lead singer change. I don't remember the year. We became Slick Whiskey. And as I do now, I did all of our, at the time it was MySpace. This is before Facebook blew up. But I did our MySpace page, our Facebook page when that became a thing. I actually did actual websites through GoDaddy for both of those bands. And then as I was in Slick Whiskey, I was also in a 90s acoustic cover project that never made it out of the basement. And after that, I was in a ZZ Top cover or tribute band, because that was all that we did was ZZ Top. Anybody that's heard us do LaGrange or Tush or any of the top songs we cover, I don't do a too bad Billy Gibbons.
Yeah.
But they were the guys that introduced me to Francine and the pre-ZZ Top song Salt Lick, which was the first song that they ever recorded. But I want to say 2012-ish is when I got out of music in St. Louis. Got together with Liz in 2015. We moved out here to Mexico in 2017. Very early 2018, I found Scott and the guys he was playing with at the time, because I can't say you were really a band because you guys didn't play out. It was basically a garage project. I found an ad in either Craigslist or Facebook, came out one weekend, and just kept coming back.
Couldn't get him to stop.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, do you want to join the band? And I'm like, I kind of thought I was, because you haven't told me to leave, so.
That's what we told you. When you stop coming, that's when we know you're done.
Basically, that eventually became the band of Misfit Boys.
Which
And-
was a true name at the time.
Yeah. Well, it still is. I mean, the characters.
It's got a true answer now, though.
Yeah. I don't know how it happens. It's the grace of the Creator looking down on us, but somehow or another, I just keep finding these uber talented guys that aren't already in something and are wanting to come out and do what we do.
It's hard to find time to practice.
Yeah. The original version of the B.O.M.B
bombed.
Yeah. Well, I'm just trying to think of
Almost.
dates at this point. I think we became the bomb in 2020,
I'm not sure.
right around COVID
Probably.
area. That lasted until July of 2022 when I departed. And then, like I said, I got back with Scott earlier this spring, 2024. I said, let's put something back together. He's like, find some people. And so
You did.
I found Nick. Nick brought Paul. Logan joined in. And for the last 9 months, we've been,
Ripping.
yeah.
Ripping. Period.
Yeah.
Sorry, man.
No, not at all. You are free to speak. You have a microphone in front of you.
Oh,
You don't do it often, but
you know what I think about those?
yeah.
If I could
Yeah.
stay away from them, I would.
Yeah, but we make such good harmonies.
Oh. I'm going to have to do like the guy off of Doors. I'm going to have to turn my back to the audience so I can do my job right.
Eddie Van Halen did in the beginning of Mammoth is he was too shy. He couldn't look out at the crowd, so he'd turn around and face the amps and play.
I've done that before. First gig, everybody's in, which used to be right next to the ice chalet.
Yeah.
Played on a flat floor.
Yeah, I used to not understand why certain ones would turn around and face the back of the stage.
It's hard for you to
in the
turn
middle
around, Paul.
of the gig.
Mhm.
It'd
I'd
be
like
hard,
to
it'd be
see
hard
that.
for you
I
to
want to see
turn
him
around.
do that.
Now,
Well,
thing
he
is-
could do it, but he couldn't play and
Yeah,
turn
that'd be
around.
the issue.
Well,
I think
the
you
thing is, the kit, I mean, I'm in charge of keeping these crazies corralled, so to say.
Exactly.
And so, but I've got the kit to hide behind. My kit used to be a lot bigger, but as I've grown older, it's gotten smaller and smaller.
And
Now,
I had to.
I know you did. I walked right
Yeah.
into that one. But the kit has gone smaller. But in a way, that's good because then I could see what's going on.
Yeah.
And if you've never been behind a microphone or held a guitar up on stage in front of people, that is a horse of a different color, and it takes a certain type of individual to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And if anybody thinks that it's easy,
come do it.
come bring it.
Well,
Come do it.
do karaoke because
I
they,
like
they can do it, but it's not
It's
the same.
not the same.
Yeah.
I'd like to make it a little bit more clear. When people get up on stage to do karaoke, nothing take away from that. That is similar, but you got somebody helping you right there. Nobody else but us are helping each other, period. So, you can look at words all day long and you still probably wouldn't be able to get it done because it's 300 songs. Which ones do you practice?
Yeah.
You got to think about that. I just went sideways. Sorry about that.
Oh, you're good. It's your turn to tell us how you got started.
I'm hiding. Plead the fifth.
Yeah.
Oh, negative Ghost Rider. Get on in there.
No, your musical story is more interesting than most.
It's so damn long, it's ridiculous to even talk about, tell you the truth. I don't know how many years it's been right now.
Well, hell, I just went through 52 years of my litany, so
Hey folks,
That'd be a good
1978, you can do the math.
36 years.
1978, I bought a guitar for $20. Mowed a yard when I got home after buying that guitar on a loan. And as soon as I got it paid off, couldn't play it. I just could look at it. With the eminent knowledge that my dad has, he has lots of strange, out-of-the-way knowledge because he had to float himself through life and figure himself because he didn't really have a person to watch as an idol. So watching a man without an idol being an idol, you got to start regulating what you believe in. And that's what I started doing. And so I started thinking that maybe I could help around the house and the farm and stuff, right? I'm 8 years old. I can do anything, right? So that year I got that guitar and I found out I couldn't do everything. And it took 5 years because I self-taught myself. I do not recommend that. But if somebody wants to do it, I can tell you by real personal experience, you can do it. Just don't expect to know everything because that's the job of learning music, is to know everything. So in my bull, 79, I got my first lessons, I guess. And from 79 to 80, I decided the lessons were so boring, I could not stand to be told anymore about something that has nothing to do with what I was trying to do. Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. I mean, come on, single string notations. They was worried about me learning every note of the guitar, is what you're supposed to do anyway, for every instrument. So, in my obstinance as a young child, which I still have today, comes
No.
out every once in a while.
Say you didn't so.
Hey, the gray hair lets me do it nowadays. So anyway, somewhere around 82, I started getting decent, and I started listening to, well, I was already listening to Ozzy Osbourne. And so far, he only had one guitarist that actually made a mark, because the first guitarist of his band was actually a hire just for the job for that time period, in my opinion. I don't know for exact sure, because somebody else will have that fact. They read it on their phone. But the fact was, I got a chord book that year. All of a sudden, every chord I ever thought about never made sense. Nothing made sense anymore. And I'm thinking to myself, why did you put so many chords of one letter? Because that's the way I called it. That one letter's got all these dang chords, and none of them sound like what I want. So I went through the whole book and circled the ones that was more to my abilities. And then when I learned bar chords, all that went out the window until later in life. Because metal, that's all I was playing after, ninth grade. Ozzy went to Metallica. And I was playing acoustic guitar in the hallways of Hickman High School here in Columbia. And you'd be surprised how many teachers are okay with that. What?
Yeah.
We can't have a D, but we can have a guitar in class, though. I'd never play in class. I always played after class. I keep the guitar put away until lunchtime. And then I would play during that time. Since being diabetic, I didn't know I didn't have to eat during lunch. But I didn't anyway, so I didn't feel like it. So I just play out there on the parking lot of Hickman High during the whole lunch hour, and then put it away in the car and go back inside. So that was a jump. By that time, I think I learned all of Master of Puppets' album, because that's one of the things I learned to do. You buy the album, you listen to it, and you can figure out what those people are doing most of the time. Well, once you figure out what they're doing most of the time and learn that, most of the other songs fall right in place. That's what I learned. By the time I finally got an auto-reverse cassette, y'all know what that is? Auto-reverse cassette? Yeah, that's high-tech for me, but guys, I used to have to flip it. So anyway, after I got an auto-reverse, I just started running the album all the way through from one side to another, and I'd learn each one of the songs that seemed like I could do it that day, because some days would change. All of a sudden, that day, I felt like I could do it. And I think it had a lot to do with diabetes, but being a child had a lot to do with it too, because by 11, I was playing Ozzy. By 14, I was playing Ozzy again. Every album, I guess, except for Blizzard. I didn't really like the way Blizzard was recorded. Once, what was it, Tribute to Randy Rhoads come out, then the whole world understood what I sing. Randy Rhoads was one of the most influential people of my life, even though Eddie Van Halen was first in the metal rock and roll scene, which it didn't happen for me until my uncle died when I was in 7th grade. When that happened, I just packed I had a cassette stereo out of a car with an amplifier on it and 2 5-way speakers in the bottom of this duffel bag I used to take to school every day and blast the school bus out all the way to school and all the way back home. And everybody wanted me to. Even the bus driver would ask me, well, you got that in there today? And I said, yeah, well, just keep her down. Ask me almost every day. And we'd play.
That is so you.
Yeah. I started with a little single speaker 4C cell battery cassette player on the school bus. So after listening to all those songs over and over for like several years, things just started falling together. And I didn't understand. I really didn't care. I just felt better that I could play better than that person, because that person kept constantly getting on my nerves, telling me how good he was. Well, they couldn't even play. How could they sit there and brag about something they didn't even could do? So I never got into bragging about it. That's why I have trouble talking about me, because I'm not much of a braggart. I don't get any fun off of it like my dad does. So here we are. We've been between, let's see, high school and ultra diabetes. So by the time I was a senior, I decided I wanted to be a senior again and stayed for another year. So after figuring out that I was already senior material, I decided to get away from there. And by that time, my diabetes was so bad, I couldn't hardly remember a lot of things unless I practiced them that day. And if I practiced them that day, I'd probably forget them when I got to the place I was going. When I finally figured out I had ADD, HD, or whatever the crap they call that stuff, I didn't know how to deal with that. I didn't know what was causing me to lose my memories and all that crap. So in 95, they finally figured out that I was diabetic after being diabetic most of my life. And they couldn't treat me right because they misdiagnosed me. So for the next 12 years, I guess I was misdiagnosed and losing the battle. So after being in like 5 different bands at this time, and every one of them was fun, playing everybody's in, nobody even knows where that's at because it's been defunct for 25 years maybe, 30.
Evil's in?
No, I never played. Well, I played there one time. Not my deal.
No.
And on that ordeal, that was because the contract he was trying to force us to take was not even close to anything we've ever seen before. Mm-hmm. And a lot of those demands were ridiculous personal demands. Ridiculous. I mean, he owned it. Okay. Ain't nobody else doing what he does at that time. So we played almost every other bar than that one as we could get into, and the Down Under was one of the best places to go, which is underneath Broadway. Not Panteras. What's it called? Piccadilly's? No, it's not Piccadilly's.
Is it over by Gumby's?
Gumby's.
Yeah,
It's
underneath
Gumby's,
yeah.
So we used to play underneath Gumby's Pizza before they were there.
Yeah.
And the last time I played there was actually when they were there. And I remember...
Is that over on Rangeline?
It's on Broadway.
Broadway.
Yeah, it's right next to where the hotel, big hotel is on
East Broadway.
North side.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, East Broadway.
Sorry, St. Louis kid.
Yep.
I'm still learning
You know
Columbia.
where Broadway is there, don't you?
Well, I know where Broadway is, but
Hey,
the Gumby's...
even I know where Broadway is in St. Louis.
Yeah, but we're talking Columbia.
Yeah.
Not to derail your
I
thought.
like
future, bro.
crisscrossing stuff, if you didn't notice.
The only Gumby's I know is over off at Rainforest by the 18th, or the charter stop.
The only Gumby I knew needed his ass kicked.
Oh, no!
Anyway, where am I at?
Down Under Club?
Yeah.
Yeah, Down Under Club. That was a big, big spot for metal bands because metal wasn't really even accepted in Columbia at that time. Clear up until the 2000s, I'm pretty sure. And it wasn't until the college groups started showing up at Blue Note here in Columbia that we started getting some kind of hand at some metal being recorded or at least being played on stage other than anywhere else. So we did at the time I was working with Jeff Brothers, drummer, and it was Aaron Graham playing bass. I was playing guitar, and we were playing Metallica, Megadeth, just really everything that all the people were upset about. We just made sure we did that. That was the important part. Everybody don't like it? Oh, let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
But we never got into, what's that one stuff called? Come From England.
Oh, the new wave British heavy metal?
Well, I don't call it that. It's something else. It was before that. It was
Frog?
late 60s. Nah,
No, Prague.
no Frogs.
Yeah.
The Clash and people like that.
Punk?
Punk. Yeah,
Yeah.
punk. Something to do with the punk was getting really big in this town at the time.
Well, that was the most influential genre at the time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
In that decade.
You know, it's
Yeah.
just like then grunge came in and heavy metal died, so to say. And
Long hair
well,
died.
I said so to say.
Yeah. No, it was misdirected by
Metallica got their hair
MTV.
cut.
Yeah.
MTV misdirected a lot of people's thinking. I'll say that just once.
Well, I mean, Seattle needed a voice for a change other than
So did Columbia, Missouri.
Hart and...
So did Columbia, Missouri. So why did they go to the farthest reaches of America to do that?
Mm-hmm.
I always wonder about that question.
Because
Why
that's
is
where
always
the big
coast?
record companies thought they could make their money.
Right.
They did.
Pacific Northwest.
Made millions. But grunge faded. Rock and roll will never die.
So the Golden Oldies really wasn't my fantasy. I listened to it on the radio my whole life. I didn't really ever think about playing it. When I finally got into some of the classic rock, it was so simple to me because I'd listened to it so long. You could actually think it through your head, well, this next thing is going to happen, and you can just do it, right? So where am I at now? I'm after high school. I'm in 2000s. 2000s brought heavy metal to Columbia, in my opinion. There was a few bands that come out in 98, but there was more bands on MTV and the radio than there was I even knew about, really. Because everybody all of a sudden had a recording contract but me. Just all of a sudden I started hearing this crazy, weird-ass music, and they were making money, and I'm still sitting here playing stuff that other people really want to hear and actually pay to come to the shows. So obviously it's already a thing. And I was pretty lazy through the 2000s because I was so diabetic I couldn't hardly think. I don't even know who I was working with then.
I don't know. Before I came into what is now the bomb shelter, it was you and Paul and John and Keith, and Jason had left not too long before that.
Right, which he did many times.
Well, vocalist Jason.
Oh, no, I don't know about that. Jason died.
Unfortunately.
He was the main writer for the band that became the B.O.M.B. He was the actual lyricist, and all we did was make up new music over and over again, and then he put words to it. And that's how we got the original music for Slop.
Yeah, Slop Nation and...
No, not Slop Nation. That is the funk
just
name.
Slop.
It was just Slop, yeah. Slop Nation came about because somebody in England had slop. I said, that doesn't even matter to me. Why does it matter to you? You know.
Now, what was the other one before Slop, though? Is
Hit by Lightning was with Keith, Bob.
Well, no, Anemic Heretic.
Yeah, that was with Jason. That was the whole deal with Paul. Not this Paul bass player, and John playing drums, me playing guitar.
So Anemic became Slop, and then the remnants of Slop became the B.O.M.B. version 1.
Right. And if we hadn't gotten Chris to show up, it still would not be going right now, guaranteed, because nobody else ever showed back up after they found out the stipulations were real. And a lot of bands need to understand, if you're going to walk into somebody else's band, you got to understand the stipulations, because sometimes that makes a difference whether you get to stay or not. Period. It's just like any other job. Everybody gets a vote, you know? Well, except at a job. Nobody gets a vote in the job. But our job, everybody in the band gets a vote. And that's what I thought was important.
Yeah.
And it's blown up in my face many times in the past. But this group of people knows what I'm talking about, and this is important to me. It's one of the reasons why I want to do this so bad.
Yeah.
I sit on my chair, my recliner, let my foot heal, as it's been doing for 7 months now, 9 months, whatever it is, 25 months, that's what I'm thinking about. 15 months too many. Anyway, I had to get through the muck to find the reality. And unfortunately, Columbia has a lot of muck that's not really musicians. They may be an instrument player, but a musician, it takes a whole different level of thinking. It's not just me, myself, and I. It's all of us or none of us, in all reality. Because one of us messes up, the other person ain't there backing them up. Guess what? There's that one person in the audience is going to go home and say, you know, that band sucked because of that one mistake. One. And a lot of people don't even understand. There's mistakes made every song. Every song has a mistake.
Lord knows I do.
Everybody does.
But it's in how well you either cover it up or recover from it.
Yeah.
Or if you become an idiot and just stop in the middle of it and the rest of the band's wondering,
No,
what
we
the
don't
heck
do
are
that
you
anymore.
doing? We don't do that. Go through it again if you have to, darn it.
Yeah.
It's important to do it again. And that's what I had trouble with the other band with. They wouldn't repeat a thing. And one day a week is just not enough for practice if you're not really practicing at home.
Y'all want to take a little break, I think?
Yeah. On that note, we're going to take a pause for the cause and let you hear a message from our sponsor.
Like
in our lovely new location at Midwest Studios here in East Columbia on the business loop.
Yeah.
Mr. Paul had some family obligations he had to take care of, so he is no longer with us. So joining us down in the front room is my lovely wife, our band manager, Miss Liz. Say hello.
I guess I got a promotion? Or is it a demotion? I don't know.
Which do you choose?
Both.
So a stagger of nowhere?
Sure.
Okay.
Just floating.
Just float.
But basically, Liz handles our management. She corrals all of us crazy SOBs.
Her foot's bigger than mine.
Depends on whose ass it's got to go up.
Well, Dennis's for sure.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
We got to bring Dennis up on here. He's such an icon.
That's one way of putting it.
Icon.
Our mascot, I guess, if you want to say. Your roadie.
Yeah.
Your personal
I got
roadie.
a singular roadie. Part-time.
But Liz is our band bitch. She does our management, our booking, scheduling,
Bad faces.
and keeping us
Corralled.
as in line as is possible with this bunch of misfits that I call my brothers. But as Paul had said earlier, the core of the B.O.M.B, me and Scotty, I love this guy.
Why?
We couldn't do,
'Cause you're
we
you.
could not do what we do without you.
I'm
You
not
know,
sure.
you provide us our home, our place of practice,
Asshole comments.
that too.
Yep.
I mean, that's,
Banter, constant.
we are just as the Cabana is we are a you do you band. We don't care, just again, as with the Cabana, do what you do with respect for everybody else in the room, the band.
Respect for people in the room. Remember that point. He's the only one I've had as a vocalist that will respect everybody in the band, so I love that. Right off the get-go, he respects everybody until they prove different.
Yeah.
And we love doing that. No, we don't.
Well,
We hate
that's
it.
just part of my personal philosophy, you know. I give everybody the equal and opportunity to be the best person they can until they piss me off.
Or until they fail at what they say.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fail at what they say.
So what y'all got going on here coming up? Anything?
Well, with our recent change up in cadre, we do currently have scheduled, at least as far as I can remember, our one show coming up at the Cabana, March 6th, 8th. I was close.
You were close.
Hey,
I was letting you
we just
ride
hang
with
out
it.
and drink while you wait.
I know the dates really well in my head.
I know you
Yeah.
do. You're
That's
the
my
one that
next-
keeps me straight and tells me when to show up and run sound.
No, dude,
All right,
it's my
Sticky,
job.
what's my next date?
Yeah.
Well, I was
Can't be
speaking for
told.
the Cabana. For the band, that's your job. Yeah, I've got so many bosses on top of me. Yeah. Dog pile on the bunny.
Dog pile on the rabbit! Dog pile on the rabbit! Dog pile on the rabbit! Dog pile on the rabbit!
But yeah,
Yeah,
March
to see what he
6th
just does
is,
with that.
our 8th rather, is honestly the only thing we have on the books definitively right now. God, who have we got opening up for that show? I believe Hunter,
I think
And-
Stone Creek. I know Stone Creek
Stone Creek for
and
sure.
Sage. Sage.
Oh, that's right. Sage is that one.
He's
I'm
gonna
thinking of a
open,
different
right?
show.
Say, have we had Sage out to the
Not
new?
to the
We
new.
were supposed to.
once. I think once we did. Did we?
Out your place.
Out of
Yeah,
my.
no, I'm talking about up
At your
in
place?
Higby.
Oh,
And
I know he.
He's been to Higby one time.
Okay.
yeah, but did he perform?
No,
I don't
I think
think
he
so.
just came out.
He was supposed to.
Sage Redgrave is a buddy of ours, a friend of the band, friend of the Cabana. He's been performing. He's a solo act, originally from New York City, relocated here to the middle of Missouri for who knows what reasons.
Misery.
A few years ago.
And incredible talent.
Yes.
I love the guy to death. We hate to see him go, but he's headed back home to New York, and he wanted to play one more show at the Cabana, and I'm like, the B.O.M.B wants that honor. I want him to open one of our shows for us. We will also have a local Higbee group, Stone
Creek.
Mm-hmm. 3-piece.
I think they're now a 4 or 5. They've
Really?
Added on.
They've added
Okay.
on. They've evolved.
Good.
Yeah.
But they're going to add a little country flair to one of our shows. Sage is more metal oriented.
Yeah.
He's guitar, plays with backing tracks.
It's been in multiple magazines, multiple articles, a lot of it up in New York. He was with several large, big metal bands. You know, he's been around the block a little bit, so to speak, you know.
But as I said, an incredible talent, and I'll share the stage with that brother any day, anytime, anywhere.
I think he plays, does he normally play a 7-string? And I think he's got a even one that's bigger than that.
I've seen him on a 7 and a 6.
Yeah.
I don't know that I've ever seen him on an 8-string.
I believe he owns an 8.
Yeah.
What a waste.
Yeah. Now he just has fun with it, you know?
Yeah, and he can play that thing.
Yeah.
Are you understanding what you're saying? Because normally you can't speak
I
that
know
language.
that's different jargon, and something in my brain clicked. I don't know what happened.
You
but
took your shoes off to
took my
count,
shoes off.
didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
I knew it.
Yeah. Yeah, but anything else y'all would like to add?
Interviews for bassists, yeah.
Yeah, we have auditions to fill our bassist spot. We've got a couple of gentlemen Paul is familiar with that are going to be coming out. One is a family friend. The other is a gentleman he works with. We're hoping to have them out to the B.O.M.B shelter. I know we've got one of them coming out this next Friday.
Possibly both.
Possibly both. If not, then the next Friday, which will lead us almost into January.
Well,
And
maybe
hopefully
by the
we
time
can
this is
get...
aired. By the time this is getting aired.
Yeah, hopefully by the time this episode airs, we'll have the band of Misfit Boys reconfigured, back complete,
Back in action.
getting ready to come out and rock the cabana on March 8th.
March 8th, yeah. Yeah, that'll be a good show.
I hope so.
Well, folks, I definitely appreciate y'all being on here with us.
Always a good time.
Yeah, it's the only time that whenever I speak to y'all professionally, it's the only time I can speak without an accent. So there you go.
It's weird having him on that side, though. He's supposed to be over there.
Well, next time around.
Well, I'm playing both interviewer and interviewee
We could have sat you in the middle.
simultaneously.
Yeah,
Bobblehead,
simultaneously.
I bobblehead anyway. It's a military thing, you know. Keep your head on a swivel.
Y'all come back for a second time with us, so obviously it wasn't bad the first time, you know. So yeah.
Well, you came to us the first time.
Yeah,
so.
I did. That's when we were doing our tours of
In-house interviews, yeah.
Fun. That was different. It's been different every year.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, I definitely appreciate it, y'all. Yeah.
We appreciate you having us out.
Inviting us.
And to keep the algorithm happy on YouTube, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and if you want to see what's coming up and who we're going to interview next, hit that little bell icon and it'll let you know when our next podcast pops up. Until then, we'll see you.
Hey, you forgot to mention some comments. I like comments.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Sticky loves comments.
Sticky loves comments. Well, you just said
The more
There we
interesting,
go.
the better.
The more comments, the better. I like
Yeah.
them. Yeah, for sure. Until next time.
Lucas has got his job cut
He
out for
does.
him on this
I was
one.
Yeah.
several times in here. I'm going, poor Lucas.